Okay, welcome everyone. Today we're going to be cooking some sticky barbecue stir fry. The only difference is this is going to be cooked in real time. Because I feel like every time you watch a cooking video, they're always skipping steps, or they put onion in the pan and then time skips and all the onions are done, yet you don't know how long that was. What are you eating? Broccoli. And this tutorial will be hopefully no assumed knowledge. So, a lot of people may not know how to cut up a capsicum, for example, yet a recipe will call for diced capsicum. So I'll show you how to do everything. Okay, make sure that little rat doesn't get into the bin. Isn't that right? Okay, sorry. Alright, for this recipe, we're going to use kebabs. You're also mounted to my chest, by the way. I don't know if I can show you this. That's me. You stay away from the bin. Alright, our meat is going to be from kebabs. The reason why we're using kebabs is it counts as we use it as the sauce for the recipe, and it's really easy to, in general, it's really easy to overcook chicken, but if you use kebab meat is a lot softer than usual, probably because of what they put in it. We're also using 6 eggs. We're going to use these wok ready noodles because we're lazy. 1 red onion, a large broccoli, about 200 to 250 grams of bacon pieces, a red capsicum, and a bok choy. Some bok choy. Alright, so let's get started, shall we? You, away from the bin. Get a knife. So the first thing we're going to get started is the onion, because if we want to make that onion really soft, we have to start it sooner, because it takes a long time. So we're going to head and take the outer layer of the onion off. There's another one. We're just going to cut the tip off. There's the root and then there's the tip. And we're just going to cut the tip off. Throw that out. And then I cut it in half. I like to put it upside down there, so when you cut into the bulb here, and it releases a gas. That's what makes you cry. So I like to put that face forward, so it stops it from gassing everywhere. Then we're going to take the outmost layer of onion peel off. Like that. Same with the other side. God damn, I'm taking 2 layers off. Oh well, who cares? A lot of the other cooking videos will never show you mistakes. Although you make mistakes all the time when cooking. And also, when you're washing your hands with onion, make sure you use cold water. If you use hot water, it'll only worsen that. You know the feeling when you cook onions and your eyes get all teary? Using warm, anything warm temperature will make the fucking, I don't know, the scent float around. Get out of here. Okay. So I don't have to dice this perhaps, but we just need like a rough cut. So I like to cut down the middle here, but we're not cutting it exactly in half. We're just going to stop just before the roots, so the whole thing stays intact. So I'm just going to stab it like that. You can see that I haven't cut all the way. And we're probably just going to do that maybe 1 or 2 more times on each side, like that. If you wanted to finely dice it, you can make the inserts more next to each other, if you know what I'm saying. I hope you do. Once we do that, we can just cut directly down, depending on what size we want. We just want a rough dice, so we're not going to be too particular in how big or small these pieces are. Perfect. And I'm probably just going to throw that bottom part out because I can't be bothered trying to cut it all the way up to the end. It's too hard. And this is supposed to be an easy recipe. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam. Great. That's all done. Hands washed. Alright, we're gonna turn on our stove. Motherfucker. There we go. But because we're cooking the onion, we want it to cook low and slow, so put the heat on low. If you cook it too high heat, you'll start burning the onions instead of softening them, and we want them to soften because they taste better, in my opinion. Throw a bit of olive oil in there. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. Not a product placement. Just a drizzle, mate. Just a drizzle. Nothing too much. We'll leave that out actually because we might need it again. Or we will need it again, sorry. A lot of the other times, people will tell you to wait for the pan to get hot before putting the onions on. I don't give a fuck. But we're also not needing to sear it or anything like that. We can put it in there now. It doesn't matter because we're not cooking it on high heat. This is probably a personal preference, but when I cook, I like to have a little cloth there so I can rest my spoon on it. There's probably some smarter ways. I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments, am I right? Alright, just break all that up. Is that on? Yeah, it is. You can give the pan a little bit of a shake. Helps evenly distribute everything. Alright, we can check on that later. Put that down. Rat. Make sure this little rat isn't doing anything. Yeah, okay, because we've just cut with onions, I'll probably just quickly give that a rinse. It's not too important that you give it a rinse, although if you're cooking with like raw chicken or something, raw meats or something like that, then you'd have to wash everything before you can use it again. Just a little bit of a rinse, never hurt nobody. One full. Okay. Now, what are we going to do next? Maybe that's too low. Let's turn it up just a tad. See if it does anything. While that's going in the background, we'll also do the meat next. The thing that we're going to try and practice is we're going to try and have things going at the same time. A lot of the times you'll watch a cooking video and they'll already have everything diced up and everything like that, but that's just not realistic. We've got things to do, people to see. Okay, let's get some heat on this one. Probably about a medium heat. Let's heat up some cooking oil. Just a drizzle, mate, just a bloody drizzle. Throw that around there, get a nice even coating. Okay. Now the good thing that this meat's already marinated. It's already marinated in the sticky barbecue marinade. So you don't have to do anything with the meat apart from just cook it. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're just going to take a skewer, we're going to take a fork, and we're just going to push everything off like that. Yeah. Unless you want to eat the sticks, but I don't. Let's maybe do 2 at a time. Efficiency. See, those onions are doing pretty nice. They're not. It's not too hot. Although it is sizzling a little too loudly, maybe I might put the heat down a smidge. You can check to see if they're cooking too fast. If you're moving them around, you can see that they're browning already. Then it means it's too hot. To caramelize onions, you should have it at a low enough heat that it just sits there in the pan and gets transparent. So if you pick up a piece right now, you'd see that you can't look through it, but as you slowly cook an onion, in order to caramelize it, to soften it, it'll literally become transparent. And that's how you know that you're cooking it slow enough. Okay. And try to clean as you go. It's usually a good idea, otherwise you're just left at the end with a whole bunch of dishes you have to clean. And nobody likes doing that. And also, since this recipe doesn't have any sauce, we want to get all that marinated. And you don't have to worry about chicken juices or anything like that, because we're cooking the whole thing anyway. Everything will get up to the appropriate temperature. You have nothing to worry about. Just throw that away. Otherwise this one will eat it. Isn't that right, Mika? You little rat. How about you go over here? And maybe you stay there, okay? Alright, let's get another utensil. Maybe this one. Break up all those chicken pieces. Now again, because it's chicken, you want to make sure that you cook it all the way through. Usually you'd have to worry about overcooking it, because when you overcook chicken, it becomes what's the bloody word I'm looking for, Mika? Even though you shouldn't be in here, you little rat. It becomes tough and dry. It becomes dry. So you want to try avoid overcooking it, but when it comes to the kebab meat, they're just naturally soft. I don't know what they put in it. Maybe it's like MSG or something. But you can overcook it and it'll still be quite soft. So when it comes to checking on how cooked they are, you can either just have it in the pan for long enough so you know that it's cooked, or you can just take a piece over the chopping board, cut it in half, and just look with your own eyes to see if you can see any red. If it's all white, then you know it's cooked. Get out of here. Alright, let's say we start with the broccoli. For this recipe, I'd like the broccoli to be quite soft, so it breaks into a million pieces and it spreads out throughout the dish. I like having broccoli in big chunks, but I don't even know. Just do what I do, okay? If you're gonna take your broccoli, you're just gonna rinse it. Shake the broccoli off. Put that to dry, am I right? Maybe get a paper towel, just pat it dry. Yeah. And I won't throw the paper towel out just yet because we'll need it for the bok choy. Pretty much, you can eat the whole broccoli, including the stem part. Although I don't particularly like the stem part, so we're just going to cut the whole thing off. Woo! So we'll throw that out. You out of here. And as we do this, just make sure to keep an eye on your other two things. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, you can see that it's browning, which means the heat is just a bit too high. So we'll just toss these around for a second. And I'll just turn the heat back down to low. And this one, you probably won't see them brown because they're already brown, but you might be able to see them darken a bit. But we'll just give this a toss. We'll just keep those in there for a little longer. Go back to chopping these bad boys up. So you can pan fry the broccolis, although we don't have 6 million pots or the patience, so we're just going to nuke them, if you will, in the chef mic. So I'm going to have a little container here. I'm just going to toss our broccoli in there. Just break up the broccoli into edible chunks, bite-sized chunks. Bam, bam. It doesn't matter too much because they probably will break apart when we add them back into the dish later anyway, so just chop them up however you like. I just cut that little bit of stem off just then because it was just too much stem for my liking. Okay, then we're going to put it in the microwave. I have a dish that has a little bit of a hole that you can poke things out of. If yours doesn't have that, just put the lid on and just keep it, you know, just loosely on so air can still escape. But we're going to add a little bit of water in there, about that much. And when we put that in the microwave, it'll like steam the veggies. Make sure that a little bit of air can get out. You don't want it to be too pressurized in there. I'm going to throw that in the chef mic. Maybe on a... They say not to put things in the middle of the microwave because then it just, I don't know, unevenly distributes heat or something. So you place it sort of not centered. I don't know if that's a thing or not. But put that in for like, I don't know, 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes, why not? We're feeling a little funky. Give that a toss. It's really easy to toss things when there's only a small bit amount, but as we add more things to this, it'll get progressively harder and harder to toss. Let's have a stir. It's looking a little better. You'll notice that as they heat up, they're progressively getting less opaque and more transparent. You know, you'll notice that some of these aren't bleach white anymore. It's sort of almost a see-through color. That's a good sign that you're doing it right. So we'll leave that. Let's do the capsicum next. Now, in my times, I don't know why I pat that. I have to wash it again. Remember to wash all your veggies. You never know who's touching them. I'll get a new paper towel. No. Alright, in order to... We don't want it, we just want a rough dice on this capsicum. Nothing too special. But I learned this technique when I used to work at a pizza shop. Firstly, you just cut it down in the middle. Whoa. That one was already loose. And you go over to a bin. And you want to sort of, usually these stay intact. And you sort of get your fingers in there and you tear that piece off. Luckily that already came out for us. Then next you just sort of want to clap out all these little seeds. You don't want all these little seeds. This like yellow cartridge, or sorry, red, almost pinkish cartridge in the middle of the capsicum. You don't want that either. So we'll take that out, and we'll sort of just clap out the seeds like that. And this, you don't have to do this step, but I get sick of trying to cut up a capsicum, and these little flabs make it difficult. So I just like to take that off. It's a bit of a waste, but it makes my life easier. I'll show you what I mean actually. I'll do it for this one, but I won't do it for the other one. So this half, I'll tear off all the edges as well, and this half I'll just leave it. So I'm going to take the core out, take off all this little pinkish bits, clap out all the seeds. Ooh. And I'm going to leave all this here. Excuse me, Nico. Okay. Let's put that back. Alright, so you see we've left on these little curved bits, and when we go to chop them into slices, you notice, especially around this part, it's now more difficult as we have to start the slice up here. It gets in the way. You have to be more careful. It's just a whole bunch of bullshit, am I right? You can just take these and just chop them in half. Like we're just after a rough chop here. Nothing too fancy, mate. And now let's cut with this other piece. There's not as much of these big curvy bits that are sticking out. It's a lot easier to cut. So maybe give that a try. See if it works for you. Drop that down the middle. Good as gold. How are we going over here? Oh yep, we've definitely got some darkening happening over here. Give that a toss. How are we going over here? Looks the bloody same, I'd say. Just give it a smidge of heat. I think I'll also introduce the bacon now. So I'd say this is about, we're getting along halfway towards cooked. You know, the onion isn't like white anymore, but they're not all see-through, and there's already a bit of crispening happening already. So we're going to put the next ingredient in, which is the bacon. And we're just going to pinch the bottom of the bag and just let them rip. Give it a shake to get it all out. Voila. Let's give that a bit of a toss. Give that a stir. We're just going to let that cook. Alright, we have the capsicum. Now the bok choy. How do you prepare a bok choy, you ask? Well, I'll bloody tell you. The good thing is you can also use the whole bok choy. You don't have to just use the white parts, you can also use the leaf. But I like to cut the very bottom off. I can't remember if it's true or not, but I think I remember Gordon Ramsay once saying that if you don't cut the bottom off, you can't properly clean the inside of like a lettuce or a bok choy or something like that. So I think that's what he said. I don't know. But we're just going to cut the bottom off, and then we're just going to rinse off the whole thing. Voila. Shake off any excess water. Then we're just going to pat down the bok choy. Voila, voila, voila. It's looking good over there. Okay, for the sake of not having a big enough cutting board, I'm just going to quickly transfer these capsicums to a bowl. Lovely. And I'm going to leave that bowl out there because we're going to need it. Alright, chopping up a bok choy. Easiest thing you'll ever do in your life. You just grab everything and you're just chopping. You're just chopping and chopping. Chop, chop, chop. You don't have to worry about, they're already broken up into little pieces. It's, in my opinion, one of the easiest veggies to prepare. And even when you get to the leaves, you're just chopping. Just chopping and chopping, and you're bloody done. You have all this veggie goodness. That wasn't even that much effort at all. Alright, we're getting a lot of browning happening over here, so I reckon for the video's sake, we're just going to test. Oh yes, that shit's left in the microwave. Should probably take that out. Just be careful, it's been in the microwave for like 6 minutes. It's probably going to be hot. So for the video's sake, we're just going to try and cut one of these pieces in half to see if we've cooked it. And this is what you can do. So the trick is to try and find the biggest piece. If the biggest piece is cooked, then the rest is most likely to be cooked. I think this piece is the biggest. So I'm going to take the piece, I'm just going to chop it in half. Voila. Ah, it's hot. What are we looking at here? So we've taken the biggest piece and you can still see that, it's hot. You can still see that it's not cooked all the way through. It's still a bit of pink. I don't know how close I can get here. There's still a bit of pink there where it should be white like it is up here. Hopefully that comes through. Ah, fuck. Ah, it's fucking hot. And as just a heads up, we will be taking this off the heat to cook the vegetables, and then we'll be adding them back in. So as long as they're about 90% done, you can take them off. Just clean up my workstation. That's everything that needs to be chopped up actually. So I could probably just clean this. Clean as you go. It's going to be a hot in here. Turn that off. Isn't that right, Mika? Thanks, Mika. Beautiful. Alright, let's get out this broccoli. Now be really careful because it will shoot a lot of steam at you. So just take it off swiftly and quickly. Otherwise, if your hand was on top of that steam, you will get steam burn. Steam burn is a real thing. I'll just give this a quick clean. Remember to clean as you go. I'm actually an idiot because we needed that. In order to drain it, I could use a strainer, although that's too much effort. So I'm just going to grab the lid and just leave a little bit of a gap. And I'm just going to pour the water out. Look at all that steam. Just be careful because that water will be really hot. And our goal of putting it in the microwave was to try and soften it up a little bit. And you can see if it's softened enough if you're able to press a fork to it and you can feel it squish, then you know it's soft enough. If you press the fork into it and the broccoli doesn't move at all, it doesn't squish, then it needs a bit more time in the microwave. Alright. Majority of the chicken is starting to brown to crisp, so I think it's safe to say that we can take it off now. If you want to be absolutely sure, you can take another piece of chicken and cut into it and have a look. Although I'm confident that these have had enough time on the stove. So I'm going to take that off and we're going to put that to the side. Okay, we're not going to clean the pan because we still want that nice juicy goodness that was in it. We're just going to add our vegetables now. I start with the capsicum because the capsicum I think takes the longest to cook out of all these vegetables. Let's add that in there. Maybe a dash of olive oil. A little bit of olive oil never hurt nobody. Give that a little toss. A lot of good stuff. How's our bacon? It's sort of just been sitting there, hasn't it? It's just slowly cooking away. It's been long. I don't know if you guys can hear the music or not, but we've got some chill vibes happening in the back. I think it's cooking a little bit too slowly for my liking. I want to hurry this up, so I'm just going to turn the heat on just a little bit. Okay, and now I'm just going to drop all that bok choy in there. Just drop it all. I'm using my hand because I washed my hands before this video. What did I do on the video? I can't remember. I don't think I did. But I did wash my hands. Hand soap's right here. Give that a nice clean. Whoa. Lovely. Bam, 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 bam. Just give that a toss. Whoa, 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 whoa. If you can't toss it, just mix it up like a normal human being. To toss it, I sort of just wiggle everything back and forth just to get it moving, and then it's sort of a scoop motion to flick everything up in the air, and you sort of just catch it. So you just flick, just get comfortable flicking it up. And if you can get that, you can sort of just do it one after another. But it takes a lot of practice. And the more stuff that's in the pan, the harder it is to do. You'll see, as I add more shit into the pan, I won't be able to do it. Or I probably will, but I'll spill shit everywhere. Okay. I think it's time to introduce the eggs now. We want to get some sort of... What do we want to put it in? Let's put it in... Maybe this. You just want to crack every egg in there. Did I already get a bit of eggshell in there on the first one? I did. If you ever get a bit of eggshell in there, it's really hard to get it out with your fingers. So the best way that I've seen or tried, that if you scoop it out with the eggshell itself, it like sticks. It sticks to the eggshell a lot better than it would stick to your fingers. You know what I'm saying? There he is. I got him. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know anything. We'll see when I see this video. Bang, bang, bang. Let's try that again. After every egg crack, just check to see if you've actually successfully not got any eggshells in there. looks good. And you don't need too much of a force. It's just like a little tap, just a tap, just a little bit of a tap. The actual breakage is coming from pushing your 2 thumbs in, then out. NPC, a little bit of a tap. You push in, so you're pushing in, then out. So in, well, then out. That one exploded on me. Voila. Excellent. We can put all that back in there. Oh, close that up. Oh, you like that crunch? Any AMS, what's the fucking word? Any I'm pulling a blank here. What's the fucking word? Yes. Damn. I'm pulling a blank. ASMR? Yeah, that sounds right. Any fans of that in here? Did you like that crunch sound? Let me know in the comments. Now we're going to take a fork and we're going to whisk it. Firstly, the most satisfying is poking the yolks. I like that one. And you're going to hold the fork like you would hold a pencil. Only because when you mix like this, you're using less energy if you were to just hold it and mix it like this. So we're going to hold it like you would have, yeah, I guess a pencil. And you're just going to stir it all in there. Just whisking that egg. How's this all looking? Looking bloody beautiful, that's what it is. Alright, we're going to add some shit to this egg to make it tasty. We need some salt, some onion powder, pepper, nah, maybe some oregano, some thyme. That's always good. Let's get the salt in there. Meat. Just a few dashes. Is it onion? No. Is it onion? Is it gut? Who cares? Just try. A little bit of that in there. I don't know, fact. A little bit of garlic in your stir fry is always good. We're going to be a little bit more generous with that. And of course, you can't have an egg without some oregano and thyme. Just a nice thin layer, like that. Same with the oregano. Just a nice little layer like that. We're going to put all that back because we don't want to clean. We hate cleaning. How the fuck did these all fit before? I don't give a fuck. Alright, let's mix all this up. Wonderful. Let's go back over here. How are we looking? Things are dying down over here. Very good. This is looking nice. That bacon fat is rendering off. And these onions seem to be crisping. Maybe crisping a little too much for my liking. I think it's time to go to the next step, which is adding the eggs in. So the egg is just going to be scrambled, I reckon, throughout. We can get rid of that shit. And just pour the motherfucker in there. Voila. And we can quickly clean that. Whoever's idea it was to put the dish soap in the scrubber, you're a legend. Absolutely beautiful. Voila. Just gonna grab a little wooden spoon and we're just gonna stir it around. That egg's just gonna slowly cook. And it's just gonna make some bacon scrambled eggs. While that happens, we're gonna add our broccoli to the mix. We didn't have to add the broccoli. It's not urgent to add the broccoli in there because they've already been nuked in the microwave, so there's no rush on that. Just whenever you feel like it. You feel like adding the broccoli in? That's good. See that egg is cooking nice. It's cooking a little bit fast, so I'm just going to take it off the heat to stop it from cooking some more. You stop smelling the bin. Yeah, that's looking nice. That's looking very nice. If we put that back on the heat, the egg's just going to get more dry and dry, so I'm going to put it back on the same plate, but I'm going to turn it off. The plate will still be hot, and it will still keep it warm. But for this, let's give this a toss, shall we? Yeah, you can see that broccoli is nice and soft. Hopefully it shouldn't break up. If you want to squish them a little bit, you can. It's very satisfying. Yum, 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 yum. Let's give that a little flip. Whoa, 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 whoa. Very good. Now you're probably thinking, what about flavour? No. How about that? Just a bit of salt, mate, that's all you need. Most of the flavour is coming from, pardon me, it's coming from the marinade from the sticky barbecue kebabs. And they have a lot of seasoning and sodium in them anyway, so you don't need more. Whoa. Let's get that cleaned. And most of these just have broccoli and water in it, so they're not going to be super dirty anyway. It's just an easy little clean. Just getting it done now, so you don't have to do it afterwards. Just like that, mate, just like that. Woo, 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 woo. Alright, how are we looking? Are we looking good over here? You bet we are, mate. You bet we are. That's just some nice eggs, mate. Some nice soft eggs. And to avoid cooking the eggs too much, we'll put that in last. We'll put the eggs back in last with everything else. For now, what about the noodles? Alright, there we go. This song's getting too crazy. No, 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 no. Yeah, it's alright. I like that one. We're gonna get our noodles out, and these are wok ready, so you don't need to boil them or anything. And it's only like $1.20 or something for this packet. They're so cheap. Yeah, they're really good. Now I'm breaking up the noodles. Otherwise, they'll just fall out in one blob. You just want to break them up a little bit. Just a little bit. You won't be able to break all of it up. You'll do that in the pan. Give it a shake. If you grab the top and give it a shake, you're clearing it from the top so you can easily open the packet. That's a little Taylor's top tip for you. Throw that in there. Well, yeah, you're a chef already. And the other side, which side is it? This one? Shake, 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 shake. Tear open. Beautiful. Throw that in there. And all these ingredients were like $24 something, 25, around there. And you get like, I don't know, 5 or 6 servings out of it. Maybe 4 or 5 servings if you're a big boy. So, I don't really want to do the math, but it's like $5 a meal or something. Whoa. Rip. Yeah, but as the pan gets more full, you'll see that it's harder to do that in. Oh no, I picked up the wrong utensil. I picked up the bacon one. Doesn't really matter at this point because we're not working with any raw meats anymore, so we could use the same utensil. Quite frankly, I enjoy using this wooden spoon more than this flat fuck. I'm sorry, that was a bit mean. Whoa, 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 whoa. We're clean, we're clean. Very good. And throw shit away as you're doing it. Oh, and you. You were just holding capsicum for a second, so easy clean. Well, no, we'll keep that there. Want. Is that tossing? I can't even tell. Whoa. Very good. Now that we got that going, fuck, let's put this away. Let's throw meat back in, shall we? And you're probably thinking, how is all that meat gonna supply enough sauce for the whole dish? Just shut the fuck up, alright? You can see that there's still a little bit of marinade here. I just give it just a little blast, just meat. And just, oh, I dropped some. You can just put that back in. It just helps get that little last bit of sauce out. And most likely that water will evaporate anyway, leaving the sauce behind. And that's really greasy. Really greasy. So we're gonna need some of the big stuff. Throw a little bit of that in there to help break it down. Give that a good little scrub. One there. Oh, this is my favorite song. Make sure I got all that. Ways from impact and miss. For beauty in places inside spaces you can see. You right there, Mika? You right there, buddy? Being a little rat. Two. Delicious. Oh, there's another ingredient I forgot. A little bit of smoky barbecue sauce. Usually you'd think it's weird to put barbecue sauce in a stir-fried dish. Though it's not normal barbecue sauce. We only need it for that very small hint of smokiness, so you're not putting all much in. Just a nice little drizzle over the top. Let's have a look. Just a little drizzle, mate. Just a drizzle. Nothing more than that, mate. We only want a hint of that smokiness. But smoky barbecue sauce. Clean the top there. Yeah, you know. Put that back in the fridge. Bam. Let's mix all that up. That's smelling bloody beautiful. So the chicken is in my soul. Let's see if I can toss this. Whoa. That's just heavy. Oh. God damn. Alright, that's looking bloody good. It's also at this point, you should be testing your food to see if it needs more seasoning or salt or anything like that. So I'm just going to grab a small bit, just a little small bit, and give that a little test. Hopefully it's not too hot. Yum, 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 yum. Just a pinch of salt, I'd say. Just a pinch. Just a bloody pinch, mate. Nothing too much, mate. Just a little bit of salt, mate. Just a little bit, mate. And I think that's bloody good to go. And if you're thinking, how do I know if it needs more salt? It's just all down to taste. If you taste it and you think, oh yeah, that's pretty good, then you don't have to make any changes. Although if you like putting salt in your food, and you just get that feeling when you eat it, they're like, oh, I need to put some salt on this. Then just put some salt in it, you know what I'm saying, mate? You know what I'm bloody saying? Whoa, 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 whoa. Just try and flip that. Woo! Alright, we're getting to the end of the dish here. Now we're just gonna add the eggs back. We're gonna add the eggs back in, stir it through, and turn the heat off, mate. That's what we're gonna bloody do. We're going to add all this back in. We're going to give it one last taste before we can finalise this dish, and we'll be good to bloody go. I'm just going to put that in the sink. Mix this up. You don't want to spend too long with the eggs in here because you don't want to get them. You don't want them to get too dry. You still want the eggs to be nice and soft. Oops. Whoops. Looks like there's some cleanup. Whoop. Oh. Yeah. This is smelling bloody beautiful, by the way. I don't know if you guys can bloody smell that. Of course you can't. Alright, that's all mixed. I'm going to turn that off. Just double check. Yep, that's off. I'm just going to get a bit of that egg, a bit of that onion, a bit of that bacon. We're just going to... In fact, I might take it off the heat. I'll place it, this one's hot, this one's not. I'm going to place it over here. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a taste, mate. Please don't be too hot. Nom, nom. Oh, mate. Just adding that egg and bacon and onion just brings it to a whole new level. That's bloody it. Now you have a sticky barbecue stir fry. It's got veggies in it, it's got protein in it, it's got carbs in it. What's not to love? Remember to like, comment, and subscribe and share, and thanks for joining me, and I hope you learned a thing or two. Yeah. And maybe you made that. Did you make that with me? How do you like it? Yeah. Wow.